Welcome to another edition of Indian Sports Weekly. I'm your host, AJ Ganger. Today we are covering boys and girls bowling. Joining me now is the boys head coach, Craig Miller. Craig, thank you for joining us. Talk a little about how the season has gone so far for you guys.
We had a pretty good season this year. We started out, we went 6-0 before we had to face Fairborn. They were fairly tough this year. But, I mean, we bowled real well at their place, but they bowled a little bit better than we did. So that was a little bit disappointing to lose to them. We had a tight match against Tip City. We missed a couple of easy spares that probably could have won us the game, but that was disappointing a little bit too. We had a great match against Mechanicsburg, who's probably going to be the Division II state champions this year. We started out, shot a school record for a single game of 1,087, which Braden Soliday had a 278. I think you're going to talk to him in a little bit, but that was pretty impressive. We ended up losing that match too, but again, you know, to be able to compete with them and watching some of the sectional scores, the Mechanicsburg boys finished in first place. They beat the second place team by over 300 pins, so they're pretty tough this year. So we held with them for a long time.
And you guys, I did look at your record today, 12-3 overall. Obviously, the loss to Tip, the loss to Fairborn, the loss to Mechanicsburg, but we're still first place in our division in the Miami Valley League. What does that mean to you?
It was great. You know, the boys deserve all the credit. You know, I just point them in the right direction at the end of the day. But you know, the divisional championships are decided with how you finish at your league tournament, and we didn't finish very well. And Troy actually passed us up and ended up winning the division, unfortunately. But you know, we put our best effort in. We struggled a little bit in one of the games, but you know, that put us behind and we couldn't catch back up.
You guys got sectionals coming up. I know this is a big time. You're here preparing for them now, as we can see the kids behind us bowling. What are you guys looking to work on here going into the postseason?
So Saturday's MVL tournament, we bowled on the same pattern that we're going to bowl on tomorrow at the sectional tournament, and we struggled with covering our spares on the left-hand side of the lane, so that's the biggest thing we're going to try to work on today. We didn't have as bad of some of the teams that were bowling around us had a lot of splits, and we didn't see that. I mean, we just had a tough time picking up pins on the left-hand side of the lane because we're throwing the ball too fast and not getting the reaction we're looking for. And then when we're trying to throw at our spares, we're having the same problem. We're also missing the spares because we're throwing the ball too fast. So that's what they're accurate practicing on today. So.
Talk about some of your key bowlers this year, some of the guys you may miss not coming back next year, and maybe hoping to get them further along in the postseason.
So Ethan Snyder, he's a senior this year. He'll truly be missed. He'll be a four-year letterman this year. So, you know, from that standpoint, I'm going to miss him this year. You know, I got two juniors, you know, for next year that'll be returning, you know, and Braden Soliday and Colin Snyder, and you'll talk to them in a little bit too. But you know, some excitement. We got a couple of freshmen coming up next year that are in my youth program on Saturday mornings that are bowling real well. So, you know, another person we're probably going to miss, you know, Tony Martin, even though he didn't start on varsity very often this year, but he made himself presence. Like in the Mechanicsburg match, we had one bowler down sick and he filled in and done a great job. You know, he was averaging about 150 in the JV matches and he shot like 175 in that match against Mechanicsburg. So, you know, he's going to be missed too, even though he didn't bowl on varsity very often this year.
Now, Coach, where can we go to watch our team at sectionals? I believe it's this weekend, correct? Where can we go to watch them?
So I'm not sure that they're broadcasting. They can follow the results in between games. The Southwest District Facebook page, they'll post the results after each game, and then after the 3 Baker games, and then after the 6 Baker games, they'll announce who the teams that advance, and then the individuals that advance out to the district tournament.
Where's the location? Can people come and actually spectate in person?
They can come spectate in person. It's at Woodman Lanes in Kettering. You do have to go to the OHSA website to get tickets. They're taking no cash at the door. So
seems like it's like that with all of our sports now.
Yep.
Coach, thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck going into the postseason.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back with some of our boys bowlers here on the Indian Sports Weekly Show. Welcome back to our Indian Sports Weekly coverage of the boys bowling team. I'm going to have these guys behind me introduce themselves, tell me their names and the grade that they are in.
I'm Colin Snyder. I'm a junior.
I'm Braden Soliday, junior.
Ethan Snyder, and I'm senior.
Now, Ethan, being the only senior up here right now, there's only one other senior on our boys team, Tony Martin, but you're the one who starts more than he does. Talk a little bit about how your season has gone, and you are a four-time letter winner as well.
Oh, this year has definitely been one of my favorites. Just immaculate team. It's just, I'm just so happy to get accomplishments with this team.
Now, with you two guys being juniors, talk about how your season has gone and what you look forward to maybe next year and even into the postseason this year.
I also think the season's gone pretty well, and I'm looking forward to improving and doing better next year.
Yeah, I think our season's gone better than expected. I think we getting first in the Miami division of the MVL is pretty great, and I think we do better next year.
Now, first place in the Miami division, that's great. You guys had a 12-3 record, only 2 losses in the conference, but you unfortunately didn't make it to the MVL bracket part of that. But you guys are still on the road to sectionals here. What are you each of you working on going into the sectional tournament?
I'm just working on hand movement, making sure my ball hits the pocket hard.
Biggest thing is just spare shooting. You know, pick up spares, your scores are instantly increased by a ton.
Definitely spare shooting. Pick up on those, and hopefully doing good in sectionals.
Now, you being the senior here, what are your future plans? Tell everybody what your future plans are after this season.
I'll be attending Miami University and studying in architecture. Can't wait for that.
And obviously, you guys being juniors, you're looking forward to coming back next year. Talk a little bit about what maybe next year has in store for you guys.
Well, next year, I mean, for bowling, I think we can do better than this year, and I think that we can definitely do that.
I mean, it's just me, but I'm looking for a perfect record then next year.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time out of practice. Get back out there and roll some pins, all right? All right. We'll be right back with our girls bowling coach here on the Indian Sports Weekly Show. Welcome back to our Indian Sports Weekly coverage of bowling. We are now with the head girls coach, Jason Jenkins. Jason, thank you for joining us. Talk a little bit about how your guys' season has gone as we head into postseason.
We were heading on a pretty good track. Our final record was 10-5 overall and 6-3 during the conference play. So we bowled really well here. A lot of teams struggle here because they don't have wood lanes and stuff like that. So we did really well.
Talk a little about how your team has improved over the year or throughout the year as well.
They improved a lot. I mean, I have a lot of ups and downs, but they improved a lot on their average and on their spare shooting and stuff like that. So they did really well.
Talk about your 2 seniors that you have and what you're going to miss about them not being on the team next year.
Lauren, she had a lot of leadership, tried to keep everybody upbeat and everything. Lillian was the first year on varsity, and she carried a quiet calm to herself, but she bowled really well. So,
what are you guys looking to improve as we now head into the postseason? You guys have sectionals coming up this week. What are you guys looking to improve upon?
More or less, spare shooting is the biggest thing that I like for them. Spare shooting and the Baker games.
Seems like you and the boys team both have spares in mind. That's probably one of the hardest things in bowling is hitting those spares. Am I right?
Yes, it's a technique that you have to get down for yourself. We can only sit there and tell them to adjust certain times, and they know how their ball works and stuff like that. So it's kind of on them a little bit, but I try to help as much as possible.
Coach, how can our fans come and watch our girls and support them at sectionals this week?
You have to buy tickets online through the OSHA website. I really don't have any problem. I have great parents. They support all the girls. on every match that we've ever done. So I don't see a problem of having my parents being down there supporting the teams. So
We need to get everybody out here to support both our boys and girls teams here coming to sectional tournament. Come out, cheer them on, buy your tickets online on the ohsa.org website. Jason, thank you for taking the time and being with us today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with some of our girls bowlers here on the Indian Sports Weekly show. Welcome back to our Indian Sports Weekly coverage of bowling. We're here with our lady bowlers. We're going to have them introduce themselves and tell us the grade that they're in.
My name's Lauren Hicks, and I'm a senior.
My name's Lillian Kirk, and I'm also a senior.
My name's Kaya Treon, and I'm a junior.
Ladies, talk a little bit about how your season has gone so far. Obviously, you two are the seniors. We'll get to that portion of that here in a minute. But talk about how you guys' season has been going.
I think from all of us, we've been doing really good this season. It's been one of our better seasons. The last 3 years, for me at least, it's been one of our good seasons. I think we were, does anybody know what our score was in the season? We were 10-3.
I don't know.
We were 10-5. We were 10-5. So that was really good for us, and I think we just did really good. We kept our attitudes up all season, and it was great. Anything? It was good?
Okay.
Nope.
Coach talked a lot about leadership from you, and obviously from you as well as being the seniors on this team. Talk a little bit about how this last season of bowling has went for both of you, I would say.
I think it's been really good. It's been great to, we had a freshman on the team this year. We got to kind of lead the way for her, how it's going to go the next 4 years, how everything's going to be. I don't know. I just hope that we got the next people ready.
I don't know. I think all of our averages have gone up, and we're just better bowlers now.
As you as a junior, talk a little bit about how your season's gone and what you're looking forward to come next year in your senior season.
I'm looking forward to bringing all the underclassmen from JV up and getting my average up to at least a 200 game.
Now, you two being the seniors, what are your guys' future plans after this season?
I plan to go to Wright State, the Lake Campus in Salina, and get my education in elementary education, so teaching.
I plan to go to Edison here in Piqua and get my registered nursing degree or certification.
And she's obviously coming back to Piqua High School next year. She's ready for it. All right, guys, it's postseason time. You guys got sectionals coming up. What are you working on individually to get better going into the postseason?
Just making sure I'm keeping my attitude up and focusing on the game itself.
Same.
Spares. As long as you get spares, you're good. That's what I need to work on for sure.
Ladies, thank you very much for taking time out of practice to join us here on the Indian Sports Weekly show. Come out and support these ladies at sectional tournament. Again, you can buy tickets online at the ohsa.org website. Their sectional tournament is this weekend. Come out and support all of our ladies. Thank you, ladies, again. My name's AJ Ganger. We will see you next time on the Indian Sports Weekly show.